The day my heroes became just people who lived in my house. What is the biggest promise your parents ever broke? For me, it wasn't about a missed graduation or a forgotten birthday. It was the promise of protection. I was 17 when my younger brother Leo was hit by a distracted driver. The doctors called it a long road to recovery. My parents, they were shook. They promised us both, right there in the ICU, that they'd be the iron wall around him. They said we'd do this together. For the first month, they were amazing. Dad was the drill sergeant for physical therapy. Mom was the queen of organic recovery meals. But then the new normal set in. And it turns out my parents weren't built for normal if it was difficult. Slowly, the hospital visits became appointments. Then the appointments became errands. Pretty soon, I was the one, at 18, learning how to change surgical dressings and navigate insurance claims, while my parents were networking at late-night mixers to distract themselves from the stress. I remember sitting in a cold rehab center at 10 p.m., holding Leo's hand while he cried from the phantom pain. I called Mom 12 times. She finally picked up, background noise blasting, and said, "Honey, we just need one night to feel like human beings again. You're so brave for handling this." Brave. That's the word they use to outsource their responsibilities. The breaking point? Leo's high school graduation. He worked so hard to walk across that stage without crutches. It was his Mount Everest. My parents promised to be front row center. The ceremony started. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20. Their seats stayed empty. I watched Leo scan the crowd, his face falling as he realized the iron wall had better things to do. They showed up 2 hours late, smelling like expensive wine, talking about a business emergency that looked a lot like a long lunch at the country club. 3 years later, my dad called me. He'd had a minor heart scare. He sounded small, scared. He said, "Son, I need you to come home and help manage things. You know, family has to stick together." I took a long breath, looked at Leo, who was now living in my guest room while he finished his degree, and I said, "I'm sorry, Dad. I'm actually PC networking tonight. But don't worry, I'm sure you'll be brave." I hung up, and I didn't look back. Because sometimes the only way to keep a family together is to leave the people who only show up for the photos